It's Thursday. And that means that it is another episode of Thursdays with Tolga. Tolga is a certified SSPC protective coating specialist, coatings inspector, and a professional instructor. Today's topic is on contractor quality control and owner quality assurance. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and share this video. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please make sure to subscribe and set your notifications to all, so that you won't miss any new content. Every Sunday on LinkedIn, see a new 2-minute lessons release.
Welcome to a new series called Thursdays with Tolga. Joining me today is Tolga Diraz, and we're going to talk about a topic. And the topic that we're going to talk about this Thursday is contractor quality control and owner quality assurance. Welcome, Tolga.
Welcome, James.
Hey, if you could go ahead and let's go ahead and start this discussion regarding contractor quality control and owner quality assurance, and I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you very much, James. James, today's topic, as you stated, is contractor QC, quality control, and owner QA. And we will firstly just go over the definitions right now, like quality assurance and quality control. So let me start with quality. So these are three important concepts we will be talking about on this episode. So quality is basically defined. So these are important for successful paint and project management. So let me say the ISO, the International Standard Organization, defines the quality as the totality of feature and characteristics of a product or service that bear on its ability to satisfy stated or implied needs. And there is a standard also dedicated for this ISO definition, ISO 89402 1966. And I think the more practical definition is coming from the Business Dictionary online. It says, in manufacturing, a measure of excellence or state of being free from defects, deficiencies, and significant variations. So when it comes to quality control, in relation with quality, it can be simply described as checking the quality of the processes, like in our case, surface preparation, painting, coating, or the raw materials like abrasives, paints, coatings, etc. If it conforms to the project documents, like let me say project specifications, contracts, procedures, standards, industrial or in the international standards, and it describes the performing necessary observations, testing, and documentation to verify the work performed or meets or exceeds the minimum standards established by the project specification or contract. So this here we need to describe what an inspection is. Inspection is basically the process of measuring, examining, and testing the gauge, one or more characteristics of a product or service. Then, finally, for the quality concept, there is a quality assurance, which is on top of all quality and quality control concepts. It's verifying. It's just simply states that quality assurance is verifying that QC accurately inspects, reports, and documents the work performed. And this is we will be dealing with in detail later on this episode, that part of the quality management system focused on providing confidence that the quality requirements will be fulfilled. And basically, to summarize up, this is an audit function. And this is the verification of quality control and audit of QC. That we can say that it's like audit of QC. So basically, it's just a visual that the basic concept is if we are dealing with the quality, first we need to do the quality control, but on top of that, there should be in our quality control system, in quality management system, there should be a quality assurance.
That's a very good representation, that graphic you just showed.
Thank you very much, Jim. So, I mean, yes, international organizations like SSPC have different approaches, different definitions, but what I personally like from SSPC is the approach to QC and QA to SSPC. As you already know better than me probably, that SSP has mainly 4 qualification procedures. It has more than 4, but the essential ones are the 4 qualification procedures. For contractors, that include minimum requirements for QC. What are they? Like SSPC Q1 for standard procedure for evaluating qualifications of painting contractors for field application. And then comes the QP3 for shop painting, paint shop applicators, and QP6 for thermal spray or metallizing, let me say, and QP8 for evaluating the qualifications of contracting firms that install polymer coatings and surfacing of concrete or other cementitious substrates. So basically, SSPC qualifications covers all the painting and coating industry worldwide. But other than the SSPC, there are also other organizations and standards that defines QC and QA responsibilities. What are they? Let me see. There is NACE, as we all know. NACE has a very nicely prepared CIP coating inspector program that defines all the QA and QC and all the other concepts that we will be talking about in their training programs or in their webinars, in their seminars, in their conferences. And there is an ANSI and ASME, especially in the nuclear industry. As you all know, also SSPC has an quality procedure for nuclear industry. SSPC QP5, am I right, Jim?
Yes, for inspection firms.
For inspection firms. And the ASTM has basically all NACE and SSPC in the United States and in other parts of the world. In Australia are depends on these ASTM standards, like the 3276, the 4228, the 4537. These are the standards for qualification of painting or coating inspectors for different cases, for different industries, for different situations. But it covers also the quality assurance and quality control issues in the standards. So I will not go into detail.
But all global, covers the whole world.
Yes, because the ASTM, starting from the very early 19th century or 20th century, let me say, covers all the industries, including the paint and coating industry. So these are the very early standards that covers the quality control and quality insurance issues for the coating and painting industries.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And there is a PDCA. Once I remember, SSPC is doing conferences with the PDCA, Painting and Decorative Contractor of America, and they have also 3 standards for this. Actually, they are not standards; they are guides. P2992, PDCA P494, or P8-00. And in Europe, when it's come to Europe, Frozio is more dominant, as you may know. And Frozio has a training program that covers QC and QA responsibilities, especially in the Scandinavia and on the other parts of Europe. And the ICOR, Institute of Corrosion in UK, has a very detailed program of painting and coating inspectors, and that define QC and QA in very detailed form. And then there is the, there is the ISO. Lastly, the ISO 9000 is the, like a Bible for this industry, for all the industries. And more specifically for the ships and marine, there is 16,1453-3 for the marine and offshore industry.
So one
James,
thing,
okay.
One thing we should point out for the viewers as well is that currently NACE and SSPC is in the process of merging into a new larger organization. So that does kind of change that global landscape regarding different organizations that focus on quality control, and quality assurance.
Yes, and that will be, as you said, that will be changing some of the issues, but I think in a good way, in a positive way, that change will be.
Very good.
And this is all the international organizations that define QC and QA responsibilities, and they have also different standards and different books and trainings. But on the overall, they are basically the same in SSPC, but SSPC has much more in detail like QP programs or QS standards.
Very good.
Thank you very much, James. And there is the second question, I think.
Well, when we're really looking at, I think you're going to segue into this, is the topic related to hold point inspection. The quality assurance is more of the audit to verify the quality control is done by the contractor, but typically in a specification, an owner might list typical hold points. And I think the next part of your discussion is covering, what are hold points and why are they so critical?
Yes, Jim. And this is also very, the beginning of this subject, because the hold point, like a police, it is just it's the critical, maybe the most critical step in a manufacturing, like painting or coating by other industries, or testing process beyond which contractor or subcontractor cannot process. So basically we are stopping. We are just saying stop, we need to control. So subcontractor cannot. But this doesn't mean that the contractor or other subcontractor responsibility for satisfactory execution of performance of the work. So they are not, they should do the right thing. But this is the point which we should stop. But the major thing we should be focusing on what are the hold point inspection. The hold point inspection is this certain critical inspections during a coatings project requiring visual observations and or instrumental testing and a record of the results, because in the end, we will have to have a reports, a lot of reports. So also known as the in-process inspection. So, and after all this has finished, like hold point inspections, work may be accepted or rejected on the basis of these inspections. So what are these hold point inspections? There is a very, very important concept that I call before and after concept, which means in every industry there is activities. So in our painting and coating industry, we have several activities like surface preparation. So before surface preparation, we need to have some points to stop and control, check. So what are they? Maybe most of us maybe know that material, personal, and company qualifications is specified in the project specification. And the initial condition of the steel is a must. What is the initial condition of it's A steel, B steel, C steel, D steel? Or what is the, if there will be a compressed air, what is the compressed air cleanliness? And what are the environmentals like air temperature, surface temperature, humidity, dew point, etc. So you can go on, but we are just giving just the basics. And after surface preparation, basically there are two things. One is degree of surface cleanliness achieved, like abrasive blasting or mechanical cleaning, tool cleaning, water jetting, water blasting. And other than cleaning, what is the surface profile? What is the roughness you have? Because in the end, if you want to apply a good paint application, you need to have a cleanliness and roughness separately. Then the flash rust issue comes, especially for water jetting and water blasting issues. So after surface preparation, there is the painting and coating applications. But before that, we need to take into account some critical points. What are they? Let's see. The material is in the surface preparation activities, material and personal and company qualifications, and environmentals, the temperatures, the humidity, and the batch numbers of the products used, like paints, coatings, thinners, and the mixing parameters, and maybe equipment numbers, so on. And then comes the after painting and coating inspections, hold point inspections, which are most popular one is dry film thickness measurements, as we all know, but to a lesser degree of importance, but sometimes it may be more important, mechanical properties like hardness. What is the hardness of the paint or coating based on the specification requirements, flexibility, abrasion resistant, and more importantly, so most of the paints and coatings are chemical products. So what is the chemical resistance? What is the curing? We need to check the curing as the QC stuff. So what are the electrical properties? Because in the end, we sometimes need to control as electrically, cathodic disappointment, pinholes, etc. So then comes then these are, there are a lot of hold point inspections that is not covered here.
Sure, these are the typical important ones, the key ones.
Yes,
that's good.
James.
Very good.
Mm-hmm. But in order to be in a tidy, systematical order, we need to have a plan. So otherwise, we will just mix everything into each other. So this is a very nice handy tool that we call inspection test planning to organize all hold point inspections required in a project. So, and this is a check. This tool is called a systematic checklist approach, and so that we will sometimes approve the applications, but maybe the QC personnel may not approve the application and just cross it like here, and state the reason why it's not accepting the application based on this tabular format, because this tabular format is a very nice 3-column simple or 6-column format. By the way, I should mention that I'm a big fan of Bill Corbett from KTA Theater, and he has a very nice, very comprehensive webinar presentation of inspection test plan, preparation of inspection test plan webinar. So in his webinar, there is, I take it from him, that 3 columns as a simple one is okay. But if you want to be go into detail, like you can include the whole frequency of tests, standard test method reference, or reference items. So into that tabular format. And this is all about QC, quality control, and you can detail it if you want, but this is just the essentials, the basics, James.
In Tolga too, there's different electronic and online type of inspection reporting that can be done too, correct?
Yes, that's right. In our digital transformation age, I call it this way, and I am writing also this thing. I will also share it with people from my webpage, corrosiondoctor.org. Digital instruments and digital tools are getting more and more popular because of such concepts like Industry 4.0 or other digital transformation tools. And there are companies, as you know, that making all the inspections digitally and also using AI, artificial intelligence, or cloud computing. So these are also very interesting topics, James. You are right.
Very good. Very good.
Okay. And if you want to, and then comes after that, from the QC, then comes the QA, quality assurance thing. And after QC, as you have told before, this is a quality system, management system, QMS. So we need to have a quality assurance for owners, because quality QC, as the quality QC is for the contractor or subcontractor, for quality assurance is for the owners. And for the owners, because the owner is the people or staff that will control the documents are quality control management system of the contractor or subcontractor. Even they will not do any kind of instrumentation inspections. They will just do the controlling of the documents and the management system. So what they will control is project specification, like specification for materials, equipments, techniques to meet the contracts, especially as well as the regulatory requirements and are for the job site, and project specific quality standards, if the standards are available on site or for all the people access. And the process instructions and procedure like painting, surface preparation and painting or coating instructions, procedures are available or not, and if it conforms to project specification and standards. And calibration of devices, because if you don't, doesn't matter what is the sophistication of the instrument. If the instrument or tool is not calibrated, it will not measure the correct numbers. So the calibration of devices, if they are calibrated, if they have calibration certification and procedures, and the qualifications, the materials, as we have told. And secondly, second item is after the controlling the documents, project documents, this is control of ITPs that we have just described, James, and the QC reports. What I mean by controlling of ITPs is like inspection and test performed contract specification and industry standards. If inspection and test results were recorded for each quality inspection and test, and if inspection and test samples were sent to independent laboratories, because if you don't, there needs to be some tests that should be approved by third-party independent laboratories, certified by national or international recognized accreditation agencies. And if quality control of corrections and non-conformance were made, because during the process, Jim, nothing is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes, but for the quality control, it's their duty to make the people, the contractors and subcontractors, do the corrections and non-conforms, make the non-conformations to conform the specification.
Mm-hmm.
So the last step is for quality assurance is as we described, is the auditing, preparing an audit report, like a final report for the QC, like QA report, including non-conformity reports that we call NCRs, with minor and major non-conformities. I mean, if there is something that is not done correctly with the QC personnel and with the QMS or quality management system. So these are all the things that quality assurance staff or owners should know about QA.
Very good.
Okay, and maybe you wonder why so important, because we have talked a lot, Jim, about QC and QA, but why it's so important, you may ask. So I can say that there are mainly two reasons. One is to help you lower maintenance budgets. James, you may remember in the old days there is a lot of maintenance projects going on. Mm-hmm. But as the awareness, especially with SSPC and NACE, get raised with the industry and worldwide, business people understand that a good quality painting or coating operation is very crucial to lower the budget, the project budget, because not only the initial budget, but overall budget of the project. So that's why this QC and QA becomes very important in the last maybe 10 or 20 years, because in my also engineering career, I also see that SSPC and NACE raised the standards above each year, training more inspectors, more trainings. And then also there is the marine and offshore business. They also has some technical requirement, like coating technical file. What is coating technical file, Jim, is also to lower the maintenance budgets of ships and offshore business. They need to keep on board. This is a file that's required by IMO, International Maritime Organization, that every marine personnel should keep on board this coating technical file. This includes the selection, specification, and installation, and especially inspection of coatings applied to a ship's seawater ballast tanks and double skin spaces. And probably, if you see that image, you may guess something else. Yes, there is another thing, which is litigation and legal issues. What I mean by litigation and legal issues, James? In every industry, in every sector, there are disputes, and in our painting and coating industry, there are coating disputes that may end up with legal issues and even litigation. By the way, litigation basically means that settling a dispute, especially a commercial one, in a court of lawsuit. So it's especially important if the project involves a coating life warranty, because now people are more aware that every coating project has a limited life. So they want to extend the life. So they are asking, how many years does my coating system, paint system last without a major maintenance? So there are critical industries for that. Nuclear, heavy industry like C4 and C5I. I mean, this very corrosive environments like marine and offshore. And they require something like 20, 25 or more, maybe 30 years of coating paint system life warranty. So there comes three distinct parties at least of a coating project, which may argue with each other. You may probably experience that. The owner, the contractor, or the paints or coatings manufacturer in a project may sometimes end up with different opinions about the coating failures. So there comes the inspection reports, because if the inspection report is poor or insufficient, then it would not indicate the root causes, therefore not able to tell which parties are right or faulty, James.
Mm-hmm.
But if it is okay, if it is detailed and it's nicely prepared QA and QC reports, then reviewing of these reports from the job may reveal numerous references to problems during application. So therefore, very detailed and complete quality inspection documentation records and visual references may be extremely helpful for solving these legal issues such as litigation. So, I mean, would you like to add something, James, for this QA and Q importance?
You definitely have covered a lot of important information. The other thing, too, is what I think is so critical about having you talk on this topic is that your exposure and experience in the international realm. You have a lot of background and experience internationally on these two topics. As you had mentioned, they're super critical not only in the project success of the project, but also too to make sure that the owner is assured, and if there's any type of legal issue, obviously the quality control person or the contractor, they want to make sure that they have adequate and accurate documentation and data, and then obviously the quality assurance personnel for the owner is going to want to have the same, so that disputes can be settled out as quickly as and easily as possible. Let's say that. So the only other thing too that I would throw out there is that, as you mentioned, there are so many different organizations that do focus on quality control and quality assurance. SSPC, for example, has a quality assurance supervisor online training that's done. We also have other type of training courses that are done as well. NACE International has training programs as well. And then obviously there's a host of other organizations globally that do focus on that. Tolga, in kind of closing out this discussion, is there anything that, we really didn't talk about that you wanted to leave with the viewers?
Yes, James, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. We covered the essentials with you, Jim. Essentials for contractor QC quality control and the owner QA quality assurance. So this probably we could say that most of the time we associate the quality concept with QC, but this is true, but not completely true. You can't have only QC quality control without having a QA and QMS, which is covered in SSPC QS1 in very detailed. I recommend everyone to have a look at SSPC QS1 in detail so that they can understand better on that subject. And then probably not for only QC and QA, but in everything, you need to have a detailed roadmap. What is our roadmap? Is this project specification? Firstly, we read the project specification, then we just underline the hold points, or we just decide the hold points. And after the hold points, we will try to decide which hold point inspections should be done in order to have a successful painting or coating operation. So from this hold point inspection list, we need to create an inspection test plan that is shortly called ITP, and this ITP is used mainly for QC personnel, and this ITP is also used in inspection reports because it's the basis of the inspection reports. And these inspection reports that has been completed by QC personnel like inspectors, quality control inspectors, or then should be reviewed by QA personnel like auditing the QC, personal reports, inspection reports. So this is basically an overall picture of what a good quality control quality management system is.
Very good. Yeah, very good, Tolga. And for those who are looking to get in contact with Tolga, in the video description below, I will definitely have ways to get in contact with him, and also a link to the Corrosion Doctor site and blog post. It's a very good resource for information and also a lot of good updates from Tolga. Tolga, I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you this Thursday, and I look forward to our next topic.
Thank you very much, Jim. I also appreciate your thoughts, giving me the support. And I would like to say, finally, a quote from a mathematician, British mathematician, say, we think in generalities, but we live in detail. This is very, very general topic. So, you know, in SSPC trainings, as I'm an SSPC instructor, this is 5 days of training, as you know, Jim. So this is very, very general. We need to do more in detail. We need to search for details every time if you want to go to the correct or successful applications.
That's a great quote to close out this episode. Tolga, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jim.
Hey, have a great day.
Have a great day. Bye.